Hey everyone, in this video I will be analyzing the final scene of the entire history of You, and how it uses various techniques to bring a satisfying conclusion to one of the most anxiety-inducing episodes of Black Mirror. I will be reviewing the scene in full and analyzing the shot types used. I will then revisit certain aspects to show how the writers use semiotics and the Kuleshov effect to complete Liam's character arc in one scene. Shot types are utilized throughout the entirety of the scene to give us a better understanding of Liam's headspace as he descends into a jealousy-induced madness. The scene starts with a wide shot of Liam in Fion's house. It then cuts to a point-of-view shot of Liam in his bedroom, with Fiona and the baby in there with him. The scene starts immediately after Liam's final confrontation with Fiona, so we as the viewer still don't know the outcome of this fight. It isn't until he walks over to their baby and begins to rewind the moment over and over that we realize we're seeing a memory from the brain implant. After this realization, we cut back to the present and see a close-up of Liam's face with glossed-over eyes as he lies upside down in his bed and replays the moment. The painting Liam got his wife as a gift that was discussed earlier in the episode is no longer seen hanging above the bed, implying that she's left. However, even without this small detail, the viewer could probably put together that Fiona is no longer in the picture. The close-up shot of Liam laying upside down on the bed drives home the fact that he is completely alone and implies that his life is taking a depressing turn for the worse. From this we cut to another point-of-view shot of Liam in the past, walking into his kitchen. As he turns the corner, he sees Fiona eating a bowl of cereal and staring out the window without noticing him. It then cuts to a medium close-up shot of present Liam standing in the doorway with glossed-over eyes, reminding us of the reality that he is living in. A shot-reverse shot is used to juxtapose these two time periods. In the memory, Liam walks fully into the doorway. Fiona notices and stands to greet him. Once she is face-to-face with him, an extreme close-up of her smiling is held to establish intimacy between the two. This makes it all the more painful when we cut back to Liam, once again, alone. As Liam continues to walk through the kitchen to the living room, we see a memory of Fiona laying on the couch smiling at him. When we cut back to the present, we see a Dutch angle shot through a spiral staircase of him sitting on a different couch. Later in this analysis, I'll go further in depth about this shot, but it's the best shot in the whole scene, because it visually shows a turning point in Liam's character arc. From his seat on the couch, he plays a memory of his wife walking up the stairs. When we come back to the present, Liam touches the grain on the side of his neck, showing that he now knows what he must do to move on. We then cut to a memory of Liam and Fiona getting ready in the bathroom mirror. A match cut is used to bring us to the present as we see Liam begin the process of removing the grain. A long take is used, with Liam in the center frame to show that he is regaining control over his life. As Liam begins to dig out the grain, memories start to rapidly flash, and the shots get more and more uncomfortable, implying that he is finally removing the source of his anxieties. Once Liam fully removes the grain, the scene cuts to black, and the episode ends. Throughout the scene, we see Liam switch between the past and present through the use of the grain implant. This implant is not only crucial for the plot of the episode, and for the themes of dwelling on insignificant details, but it also allows the director to subtly use something known as the Kuleshov effect throughout the entire scene. The Kuleshov effect is an editing technique first coined by Soviet filmmaker Lev Kuleshov that points out a very unique way that film can be used to tell a story and elicit emotions. The effect states that when two images are placed side by side, they are able to communicate something that neither one could communicate on their own. The classic example is of a man with a neutral expression, followed by an image of a girl in a casket, alongside an image of the same man, but this time followed by a bowl of soup. In the first example, a feeling of grief is communicated, while in the second example, one might think the man is hungry. This effect is used to mesh the past and present together in a way that builds the emotional intensity with every single switch, eventually culminating in the removal of Liam's grain. If we were to watch this scene without the grain, and therefore without the effect, all we would see is a sad man stumbling through his empty home. It is the constant juxtaposition of these two periods, along with the color filters, that communicate the intense feeling of loss that Liam is experiencing. After reliving all of these little moments between Liam and Fiona that he will never get back, we are able to see what he was going through and understand the decision he finally comes to. After sitting through almost 5 minutes of constant switching, it's almost a relief when we finally see him dig out the grain from his own neck in the final moments of the episode. There are a few semiotic ways that the director communicates that Liam's character arc is concluding. Going back to the stairway shot from earlier, a Dutch angle is used to communicate that something's off and needs to be fixed. The camera is placed behind the stairs, and we see the center pole for the spiral staircase in the middle of the shot, used as a divider between Liam and an empty bottle of alcohol, symbolizing a rift between his past mistakes and present self. The stairs that we see the shot through are used to represent moving forward, meaning that in order to move on, he must learn from his past. In the next shot, we see Fionn walking up the stairs, smiling down at Liam, further cementing the imagery of moving forward. Liam's story also has a lot of similarities to the tragedy of Oedipus Rex, another tale with themes of regret and fulfilling one's own worst fears. Both stories involve highly flawed men that destroy themselves by relentlessly seeking the truth no matter what the cost. Earlier in the episode, it is also said that the grain removal can cause vision loss, implying that the cut to black at the end of the episode was Liam losing his eyesight. Coincidentally, Oedipus' story also ends with him blinding himself after learning the horrible truth behind his actions.